All right. So what's up, guys? I'm with Inikeya Wilson. How you doing today, Inika?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing very well. So I remember you sent me a message about like how you just kind of started your business and that you were really killing it in the third month. So like before
Yeah.
we even talk about like you even killing it, like kind of like started like tell us like how you started and why you started like your business, your cosmetics brand, like why that?
Well, I started off in Maryland as a freelance makeup artist, and a lot of my clients would come to me because I would do like special glitter looks and cut creases and stuff like that. And no other artist was doing it like how I was. So that I really got a great clientele just because of the certain makeup looks I would do.
So you had like a unique sort of way of doing makeup compared to other artists out there.
hmm
So like how did you kind of like come up with that style? Like
Honestly, I would just be like playing with like certain makeup, and especially because I worked at Sephora, so we'll get a lot of gratis and stuff like that. So I would just like mix stuff, play with a little bit. I'd be like, oh, let me see what these two look like, because I wouldn't have a certain color. So I'd be like, let me just see what would happen. And I would just love everything that I would do, from my pigments, from my glitters, because it wouldn't look like anybody else's.
hmm. So when you would like apply that, like those tests or those experiments, would you do it to yourself first, and then clients would be like, "Hey, like I want that look," or did you do it on
Mm-mm.
like this?
On me, because I wouldn't say I'm highly allergic to a lot of things, but my face is very sensitive to a lot of things, a lot of fragrances. So I was like, if it breaks me out, it's gonna break everybody else out.
Yes.
So I would prefer to do it on me and not anybody else. But yeah.
So when did you have that moment where you're like, okay, I have like a unique sort of way of doing makeup? Like when was it that next step of creating your own business? But that's a big step, to be honest.
Honestly, I feel like it's just so crazy. I was just like, one day I was like, let me just try it. Let me just do it. And I know it sounds so crazy, but it was just like I had an idea, because I did YouTube for a little while. I still have a small channel. It's not like major or anything like that, but my name on YouTube was the Makeup Plug. And I was doing all this, and I was like, I didn't know what brand name. So I was like, what would be my name? At first, I would be like Fortunate Beauty, because my maiden name is for my maiden last name is Fortune. I'm sorry. But I was just like, no, that's not right. And I was like, I want to be the Makeup Plug. That's what my brand would be, the Makeup Plug.
Yeah. I think like the tricky thing is like when you find like a really good like name, you have to make sure like, it's not on like IG, Twitter. Like no one like that's the thing. Like it can be on all those, but like if you want to have it on Instagram, like someone may take it. That's like the only problem. So
I
it
know.
can be a bit tricky though.
Oh
So
my.
like were you kind of like new to like everything where like you had to find like how to make a logo, like set up like an LLC, make the shop online, branding, like how was that?
Oh my goodness. Because I was working from my phone, like literally. I'm happy I have my computer now, but yeah, I was new to everything. Like I was trying to YouTube all these like little ideas, trying to understand how I set this up, how to work Shopify, how to create shipping labels. Like it was new. Like, and then running out of ink, oh my gosh, that second month, I didn't realize how expensive printer ink was. But that's why I'm very happy I invested into my thermal printer. But I was new to everything. Like I wasn't prepared. I can honestly say that now I am, because I've learned from what I didn't have to what I now do have.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I learn new things every day though.
Yeah, for sure. Like how many months are you into your business?
This is my 6 month.
6 months, damn. So like the first month was kind of like the setting it up, and then like in your first month, did you start selling products, or was it still like the
Yes.
initial? Yeah. So
Yeah.
what was like your first set of products that you had in your shop?
My first set of products was 6 glitters, and I had a pigment set. I don't have my pigment set. I have my neon set next to me to show you. But this is my neon set. My pigment set was actually just 6 of them. This is a 7-piece neon set, which is our best seller, is our top seller actually. And yeah.
That's your first one of your first products, and so like your best selling product that you have right now.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. So like when you first sold those products, like you just ended up like making more products down the line, or did you kind of like concentrate on what you were like what was working?
Well, I added more products just because I realized that I only had a certain shade selection, and I was like, I need to expand a little bit more on the cooler tones, which are the blues, the grays, the silvers, and sometimes lavender. And I was like, oh, I need to expand. So I expanded on those, and also duochrome glitters. And also that's when this one came apart. because I was like, I don't see a lot of people have sets like this. And also they don't have a pearl white, which a lot of people and a lot of makeup artists and makeup enthusiasts really do need. So that's where that came from.
So in your local bubble, like you got like a lot of word of mouth, you know, your products were good, your style was definitely good. And so like, okay, so you took the next step of making that business. So like, of course you need to like expand and let people know that you exist, that your business exists. So was that like a challenge, like really branding your name, putting yourself out there and selling more products?
Yes and no, because honestly, I use the influencer way and like send like PR and like ex influencers like, hey, you know, can I collab with you? Can I work with you? And it's really hard. Like people make it seem as easy as it is. It's actually really hard because sometimes influencers won't leave their email or they won't respond. So it's really hard to find good influencers with a good like platform.
Yeah, I feel you. But did you like do it like across the whole country or like across the whole world? Like did you kind of like target certain people? Like
I
you
would
got
say,
like a strategy somewhat?
honestly, my strategy was to target people that wanted to see glitter because a lot of people don't like glitter and pigments and stuff like that. They rather have eyeshadow palettes, and that was the hard part because how can I introduce? Basically, my thing was how can I introduce pigments to a new audience, to somebody, some people that don't even know how to use them, you know? Because a lot of people have problems with them saying, oh, they can't stick when it's basically they're not using it the proper way.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. I would be like, how can I target that audience? Basically, just bringing something new to the table that nobody else has.
Mm-hmm. So like I don't know too much about like cosmetics and makeup, but from what I think, like let me know if I'm wrong. So like your set of products, I think is perfect for like a night out, like a party, or you know going to like a dance for example, because it's glitter, it's neon colors. He's not going to use it for like going out to work. I think that's kind of like what the vibe is about, right? Just like you know.
Basically, yeah, just like going out, going to festivals, going to Coachella, like, you
Yeah.
know, just something very fun, very unique, like basically just to stand out, just to, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a good word, like fun, you know, and just really like show yourself like what you really like. Because neon, like I'm a big fan of neon colors, and so I mean, I don't think I would wear like neon makeup, but like I think actually, a lot, you know, nowadays like a lot of males are actually wearing makeup, so that can be a really
Yeah.
big thing, you know. That's
Yes,
something that you may have to expand to like months down the line. Who knows?
I know. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what the future holds, but because my new birthday collection is going to be launching next week. So I'm actually very, very happy.
Hmm.
So it's so much more to come. I just know it. Like, I
So,
know it.
how much time do you allocate to like coming up with new ideas, and then like, okay, if this thing works, let me start making an actual product around it, and let's start selling it. Like, how do you like? Do you have like a stages to that?
I do. I try to spend at least a month, at least, like just to figure out like the formula, if it's going to be okay for people to use, if it's going to be okay for basically like is the product going to be withstandable within shipping, because doing like my neon pigments, when I first started, USPS would break them a lot.
Oh.
Yes. And that's one of the big things, especially with how shipping is right now due to COVID. So that's one of my big things, like how will it withstand shipping? That's the major, major part. How long will it take? Will it break anybody out? Well, you know, will it honestly sell?
Mm-hmm.
And
And
I feel,
you,
oh, go
I
ahead.
was gonna, I was gonna, I was gonna tell you, you make all the products in like you have like your own little setting that you make all your products.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so like, how like is it like really time consuming to make those products, or is it very like?
It is time consuming, honestly, because I had to realize like at first, and this was a big mistake I did when I first started, is I would be making the products and packaging them at the same time, and it was so time consuming. I would really be spending hours doing one little stacker and another, you know, packaging. That was the worst decision I ever did. So I had to spend one day dedicated just to filling stackers, filling glitters, just to make sure that's out of the way, because it is time consuming.
Yeah. And then again, like you're only like 6 months in, but like I think after like doing this, I'm assuming like all by yourself, you know, like making the products, branding it, marketing, you
Mm-hmm.
probably learned a lot along the way.
Yes. Literally. But I feel like I'm still learning because it seems like because the internet changes every day, especially with Shopify. They launch a new app, they launch something cool every single day. So I'm still learning as I go, but I feel like I'm really content. I feel like I'm really good now.
Yeah. So like I know there's like a lot of ways to like sell things online. Like why did you use like Shopify and not like Wix or like WooCommerce, for example? Like did you have experience with Shopify before?
No. With Shopify, I honestly was just like Googling like how to start a website because I really didn't know. And Shopify was the first one that popped up actually on Google. And I was just like, and it said, oh, free 14-day trial. I was like,
Oh
oh,
shit, yeah.
try it.
Yeah.
And after that, I was just like, oh, okay, because the platform that Shopify is on is very different from Wix. When I like went on it, and it confused me. Wix confused me more than Shopify, and I was like, I don't feel comfortable with Wix, so I just did Shopify.
Yeah, because like I know like Shopify, it's like I think it's like the number one online store that people use. But when I
Mm-hmm.
go on like on TikTok, for example, like a lot of people use Wix, and I think like they're like just targeting like a lot more younger people. But I think
And
Shopify,
that's what I was thinking, especially because the price points are so different. And I get it, and it's more reasonable. But I feel like with Shopify, you literally have everything in your palm of your hands, like literally.
yeah, I think it's like $30 a month. I don't know how much
Mm-hmm.
Wix is.
That's a starter one, but
Yeah,
it's worth it. It really is worth it.
yeah, I think like I've used it a little. I haven't sold anything online, but like the way it looks is like it's very
Mm-hmm.
like user friendly. That's like the thing that it's
It is, and it
really
was
good.
easier for when I started on my phone because that's how I built my Shopify store was from my phone.
Hmm.
With Wix, it was like Shopify, you could go side by side. Wix, it was just like you got to scroll up, basically like
Yeah.
TikTok. You just have to keep scrolling. I was like, I don't know what this looks like.
Mhm. So like describe like okay like how much traction, how much traffic did you get to your site like the first month compared to like the fifth and sixth month?
The first month, I would say probably like 1,000 people,
1,000?
and yeah,
Oh, come
just
on, how's that like even possible? Like how do you like did you have like a large social media following already or some
no.
ads or something or
I
just like
did
word of mouth?
Facebook ads. For the first 2 months, I did use Facebook ads, and I was honestly shocked because I never used Facebook.
Huh?
But it was actually really shocking because I didn't think people would honestly click those ads because I'd never seen them for myself.
Hmm.
And so I'll be like, I'll pay a little $5 here and there for a Facebook ad because I was like, I don't know if people are really watching, but they honestly were. So, but from my first month, I had like over not 1,500 to 1,000 people to see my site,
Okay.
and now I get at least up to 10,000 people that see my site.
Okay, and you can see that on Shopify, like how many visitors come to your site, right?
Definitely. Let me see if I can pull it up.
And then
Let's,
from there, you can also see like how much like potential conversions or conversions that you get, right?
because this is just within the first 2 weeks. It's gonna hit 2,000 today, but yeah,
Oh, those are unique monthly visitors or is that total sessions? Oh, okay.
those sessions from all visitors.
Damn. And then from
It's
that number, you can see like the,
just from today.
that's from today?
Yeah.
Damn. 2110. Yeah. That's dope. And then from there, like you can see like, you can put like more analytics. Can you kind of like see how much conversions there are on it, right?
Show you like what your top selling product is, and they'll give you like within what time people are coming onto your site, what time they're buying your stuff, like. And I felt like that was actually really good, and I like that it's right there in your face,
Mm-hmm.
because with Wix it wasn't. In You had to go through like settings and stuff like that. Maybe that was like the mobile version, but I like how everything is just right in your face for Shopify.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, like which state or which country like buys more?
uh, Honestly, the USA.
Yeah. You
And
know like which,
I want to California.
really, California? I'm not saying,
California.
I was gonna say like any big like metropolitan areas around there or like any like party cities, I guess, you know? There's a lot of festivals there, but I know they're all closed. Like imagine like if the festivals were still open today. I don't know, maybe like your growth would have been like a lot more, right?
Yeah.
I would have been actually that would be kind of cool to like kind of experiment or like test out and see.
Right?
Because
But
like I was gonna say like I don't go to festivals at all, but when I see like pics, like IG pics, I see like a lot of people like wearing like crazy outfits, you know, colorful neon. And I think like what your product fits perfect into those, especially if it's like EDM sort of stuff, you know, or
Mhm.
on the lens like that.
Definitely is. That's why I was like, let's see what happens next year. Hopefully this COVID thing is over. But
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I was like, next year, you never know. With if
Yeah.
festivals and concerts start coming back, oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing.
So you were never worried like, oh, like it's slow because like COVID and like people are not gonna spend money, they want to save money. Like did you kind of have that thought or you were like, F it, like I'm gonna like just do it?
Honestly, I did have like that thought, but self-doubt is the worst killer, honestly, because if you self-doubt everything and you're gonna just back out. And I had to realize like I can't do that. I just gotta stay positive because the more positive you are, the more positive everything will be.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like you just gotta do it. Because if I didn't do it when I did it in March, I wouldn't have done it at all.
Yeah. And you said you did freelancing prior to that, right? Prior to making your business?
Yes, I was because I was a makeup artist,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I would really do between going back and forth to Sephora and freelancing. That's what I would do.
And do you still do that, or is it all full time on your
All
brand?
on my business.
Yeah.
Yes, because at first I was like, oh, I'll still take clients. I don't have time.
No.
I really don't. It's really hard to balance that, and I realized that like no matter how I'd be like, oh, I can squeeze somebody in, I really can't balance it because also I'm still trying to perfect my brand.
Yeah. So you have like the product aspect of your brand, but do you think you'll incorporate like some sort of service to it as well, so you can like, I don't know.
I've been wanting to, but that's the hard part because I want to push out all the kinks. So I've been wanting to do like classes and teach people how to like start a business, like how I did, and also said I wanted to do a book, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's so many ways that you can go through it. And plus, you see, you have like your YouTube channel too, right? So you can definitely do tutorials on there.
Yes, because I'm gonna be starting my YouTube back up next week, actually. So I'm excited.
So which like social media platforms do you use right now?
I use TikTok and I use Instagram. Those are my major two.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
how's TikTok and Instagram doing? Like, what do you utilize most?
Instagram.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I
TikTok
think
is a little harder. I've realized TikTok is definitely a little harder.
oh, yeah, but there's definitely ways to like really grow on it. I think like TikTok is the younger audience. You kind of have to like think of like ways to do it. But I think with your product, it'll be like really perfect because I think it'll appeal like a really young audience with, especially with the glitter, especially like how you make it too, like behind the scenes of your brand. And people like want to learn how to make their own cosmetics or their own makeup. So it's really
Yeah.
cool to like learn.
I gotta get like those little cool videos they be doing on TikTok. I gotta get like how they do it because in those little transitions and stuff like
Oh
that,
yeah,
I get used to those.
yeah. You
Used to
can,
on TikTok
yeah.
too.
It's kind of like a mini like YouTube, like a 15 to 60-second YouTube.
Yes.
It's very different. That's why I think it's like really cool. But like
Mm,
Instagram is still still like the best social media platform to really push your business.
definitely. And then I honestly tried out the reels on Instagram, that little new effect they have. It was actually pretty cool. On my first video, within 15 minutes, I got over 300 views. So I was like, all right,
Really.
that's not bad. And that's
But
without hashtags.
I was gonna say like those views, like do you know if it's from your audience or is it from like literally everywhere on Instagram? Is it like organic reach? Like I'm confused on that. I don't know if you know.
That's the only thing for the reels. They didn't say anything. Like it doesn't show me anything for it. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's from everybody on Instagram
Mm-hmm.
because it has its own little section on the what is that? The homepage.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely harder to grow on Instagram because I was like, okay, Reels is out. Is there a possibility to go viral on it and really grow
And
your
that's what
following?
I've been trying to see too,
Yeah.
because it's very confusing. But they have the option like you can post it on your page, and I guess like your audience and others will see it, and then they have the option of don't. So I'm thinking maybe it's just everybody seeing everything.
Probably, yeah. I gotta like, yeah. I think that the organic reach on Instagram is really hard to like gain a following, and that's why like the Facebook and Instagram ads is kind of like almost essential nowadays to really grow
Mm-hmm.
your page.
Definitely. I agree. But because I was like, with Instagram, they have changed the algorithm so much. And sometimes it's a little discouraging because you're like, dang, I finally got the hang of it. I got my niche. And you be like, I'm pushing out great content, but nobody's seeing it.
Yeah. So like in the first month, the initial phase, you did start selling, but like, okay, describe like did you think that you're gonna do very well? Like kind of go like talk about the process of like initially setting up and then like your sales just going off,
Like when my first month, honestly, it was just like I would get maybe 5 or 10 orders. I would say 5 or 10 orders every other week, because it's still my first month. It's a little slow. My first week, I got 10 orders. And then it just like, oh, you know, since I'm a new business, I'm small. And then mind you, I only had probably 50 or 100 followers on my business Instagram. So that's when it was literally slow. And so I try to market off my own Twitter. That's where I found a lot of my influencers and stuff like that to help me out is on Twitter. Because I was just like, let me just see what happens. And I just put out, hey guys, who wants to be an influencer to help me out with my makeup products? And it helped me so much because I'm not really a big social media person. So I'll be like, yeah, but that helped me. And then month 2, that's when a lot of attractions started coming in. Like I have a growth tab on my business page to show people like how fast I've grown. Because within 15 weeks, I went from 100, well, the 50, but you know, from 0 to 5,000 followers.
Damn.
And I know like a lot of people like, oh, I have more than that, but still, as a small business, that still is good.
Yeah, it definitely helps too.
Mm-hmm.
So, so you had a larger following on your personal Twitter, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many followers did you have on Twitter?
On Twitter, probably 1,000, but
Yeah.
I was starting from basically my Instagram was having 0.
Yeah, but like say like you kind of like channel some of your traffic from Twitter, or at least the use of influencers to kind of help grow your brand, right?
Yes.
And you still have that going on. You still use influencers to promote like your brand, right? And your
Yes.
products.
Yes, because right now I'm doing a PR search for influencers to help me promote products as we are going into the holiday season. This is the perfect time to help grow my brand, to help micro influencers to, you know, work with a brand. Because a lot of people won't even get in touch with micro influencers, and they are really the base of everything, you know? They
Yeah.
are basically the word out there. Honestly, are the ones that help your brand. They help more than the bigger influencers, honestly.
Mm-hmm. And do you kind of have like a system on your site where like anyone, like say like I want to be an influencer or be like a brand ambassador for your cosmetics line? Like, is there a way I can go and kind of apply for that position or work with you?
Right. Well, for right now, since we have a PR contest, so what you would do is hashtag the Makeup Plug PR, and you'll attach our tag to a photo or a video, and that's how we will see you.
Okay, I feel that. So like you think, okay, so comparing Facebook ads and influencer marketing, you think definitely influencer marketing surpasses ads?
Definitely.
Okay, I can see why, because like you're kind of showing like the product and you're showing like I'm assuming like really beautiful people wearing your product, so they kind of want to, and they have like a huge following, so
Mm-hmm.
so I think it's like a win-win for really everyone.
But Facebook ads do work, but I feel like you just have to get the kinks of it. I feel like you have to upload it at a certain time. You have to target your certain audience, because with Facebook ads and like Instagram ads, you know how they'll ask you, oh, what country do you want to target, or what states do you want to target?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I feel like that's the hard part as well, because you'd be like, oh, I want to target Texas, you know, or I want to target, you know, some big state, but
Yeah.
and then nobody from Texas buy, you
Yeah.
know, so it's just like that's the hard part. And then you'd be like, oh, what age group do you want to target? And you'd be like, oh, let's target 18 to 30. You know what I'm saying? But it's very, very, I feel like very hard and very difficult at first, but I'm still learning the kinks out of it. I feel like I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, it's definitely an art. It's not as easy as people say it is. It's
It's
definitely a
not.
skill that you need to build up. You know, you need to know your audience like from the inside out.
Yes, definitely.
So okay, so how was like the third month?
The third month, oh my God, that's when I started seeing like my numbers grow. That's when I was
Yeah,
like, oh, okay. I
you're
was
like
like,
this is it. Like this is actually like legit. This is
yes. And that's when I applied for my LLC. So that's when I was just like, oh, I'm seeing. That's when I started having to buy a printer ink every other week. That's when I was like, I had to even call Staples because I kept buying printer ink every week. And I was like, I think this is empty. But no, it's just because I was printing so much that I wasn't realizing it. Because you're in that moment and you be like, dang, like it's actually starting to go off, but I wasn't realizing it.
mm-hmm.
And that's when everything like orders started coming. I would start making like $100 each week, and I'll be like, that I can do this. Like I can really, really do that. You know,
Yeah.
$100 each week started turning into $100 a day. I
So
was
the
just
number
like,
of sales just kept on growing and growing.
yes.
And like, do you see like, is it like a lot of like unique customers, or is it kind of like the same customers buying over and over again?
It'll be unique customers,
Really?
literally. It'll be new, even same customers. I still to this day, like they will just rebuy because they love the product so much,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll get so excited. I love when people post my products and be like, "I finally got my package," because it's exciting. It is.
I think I was on your site and I saw like your products are really like, they're not really really expensive. Like anyone can afford it.
At all, at all, and that's why I like it because I always have two different sizes. I always try to, because for my glitters, I always have a mini size and then I have a large size. So basically, I want everybody to be able to afford it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like as you have like a lot of sales for like a smaller margin, you're gonna be like maybe too busy for that unless you kind of have someone else working with you. I don't know if you have like another, like say contractor or another buddy
Mm-hmm.
on the business, but I think eventually if you start to scale up so fast, either you need to like increase your margins or have someone work with you because you only have so many hours in a day, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. And that's what happened like in my third month, just because it was so many orders. I had to ask my husband for help and he would come help me because I'll be up till almost like 5 in the morning just doing orders, trying to get them out on time. And I'm like, I'm only one person. So, and I'll be so tired. And the third month was the hardest month, literally. Because that's when COVID first, not well, I wouldn't say COVID first hit, but that's when it was like real, like COVID got real. And USPS wouldn't come pick up my stuff when I would tell them. I even paid for them to come pick it up. They still ain't do it. Like, I was literally one person. I just had to ask my husband. I was like, "Can you please help me?" And he would be out here with me, busting out these orders. We would get it done. But no,
And do you have any kids?
no.
Okay, I was gonna say like if you had kids, then like damn, like you're really out here like, until like 5 o'clock in the morning, and then like yeah,
Yes.
kids, like it's another full time job basically, you know.
Yes, and I'll be so tired, and you'll be able to see it on my face. Like I felt like I didn't get any rest. You know how you'll go to sleep, but you'll wake up, you're like, I'm still so tired.
Yeah,
I felt.
I forgot like the whole name of it, but like the thing is like if you're like for any entrepreneur, like you got to sacrifice something, like either your social life, your health, or your business. You know, you can't do all three. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So you definitely like grinding to like 5 o'clock in the morning. So like of course you need your sleep. In the long run, that's probably not good, but I mean it's you got to find the right balance and like really work what's best on
And
around your
that's
schedule.
the only thing with being an entrepreneur. You really do have to find the balance. Because at first I didn't think it was true, but you really do have to find the balance. Like no matter what anybody says, it's honestly the truth. Like
Hmm.
you just gotta relax. You just gotta understand you can't do everything.
Yeah. So you were kind of like already used to like being reliant on your own because you were a freelancer. You have to be like you have to make sure that you market yourself. You know,
Yes.
even before that, like, did you have like your others like side hustles, or did you have like full time jobs, for example?
Mm-mm. It was just me doing freelance and me working part time at Sephora.
Okay, so you're always like hustling, like always like independent, making your own money. That's cool. Yeah,
Basically.
I think that's like a new wave because like there's definitely like ways like I always say it to everyone like there's always there's information online, and
It
like you
is.
can make so much money online. Just as long as you put in the work or have like some knowledge of like
Yes.
around your niche or whatever. There's definitely ways of making money. The money's out there, you know.
It's truth. It's always because literally Google and YouTube is your platform. Like that's how you find all your information. Like I literally did all my research just from YouTube and Google alone. Like I'll be on the computer while packing orders, listen to videos, because I didn't know a lot of things, but because I had Google and YouTube, it's free information. I'm gonna look it up.
Hmm.
Because I was like, I didn't have like a mentor. I didn't have anybody to teach me how to build a website. I didn't have anybody to teach me how to make a shipping label. Like I literally had to Google and try everything out myself.
Yeah. So would you say like you're building a business or you have a business built around your passion?
Yes,
So this is definitely like your passion, makeup, cosmetics.
definitely. Because I love doing makeup. That was my number one thing. Because at first I would be like, my first dream was, since I was doing makeup full time and freelancing, I was like, oh, I really want to teach people how to do makeup, but now that I have my products, I feel like I can still center it around teaching people, but more in a different way, especially since I can do it virtually. I can do like classes through the computer, they can buy classes,
Yeah.
I feel like I can still do that with my brand.
So like, how old were you when you were like, I really love makeup, I want to do this forever?
Oh, wow. I think, I don't know, I would say 13, 12.
13, really?
Because I'm 23 now. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because like, I feel like people like that age, even like in high school or college, like they kind of change their mind like a million times, and that's fine because you got to find the right thing that you want to do. But you kind
Mhm.
of like stuck with it, and you created a brand around it, you know.
Mhm.
And that's why I think like you're able to work at 5 o'clock in the morning because you're working on something that it's your baby, something that you love.
Exactly. Like, because it just feels natural. Like, it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like,
Yeah,
oh, I'm just doing this for the money. No, I'm actually doing it because I like it. I like it. And I love my products because my products are exactly what I promote.
for sure. And you said you also want to kind of have like your own little personal brand on how to like start a business as well, right? Is that something that you have started yet, or it's kind of like in the works?
Well, I feel it hasn't started yet. I just keep like thinking and jotting down little ideas, but I don't know. I'm still like seeing like what I could do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing.
Yeah. So do you kind of have like, okay, so you're 6 months in, you're
Hmm.
you're you have a mad orders, you're growing your brand. You kind of have like long-term goals. Like you kind of have like, okay, this is the next goal that I want to achieve, and then from there we'll see what happens. Or you kind of just like just grinding it out right now, just working and having fun with it.
Right now, I do have a long-term goal is to hit my 6 figures before the end of the year and to honestly get a warehouse, well, a miniature one. Not I don't need something extravagant, too big, nothing like that. But I will need a warehouse and like probably get a team of 2 or 3. But that's like in the future.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, I think that's definitely like having like more people to work with to really scale your business. Because like you said, I think in the message you're like, yeah, you put all your money back into the business, right?
Yes. Because people don't realize this being an entrepreneur, you really do have to put the money back into the business because you got to stock up on inventory, you have to stock up on labels, you have to stock up on everything that you wouldn't think you need, especially like bubble mailers. Like today, I just opened up a bag of bubble mailers that I ordered 2 months ago, not realizing it's the wrong size.
Oh my
So
god. Yeah, that's no
like that,
mistake.
you gotta like stock up on because you never know what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. So like, okay, so out of the revenue that you make, out of the profit that you make, how much is allocated to like Facebook ads, influencer marketing, and that type of stuff?
I would really say at the minimum, because I try not to go crazy every month, it would be at least $300 to $400.
Okay. Is that like every month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think that's really good. As long as you like put money back into the business. I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs like they make money, or I think a good amount. Like they make money and they kind of like put it back into their pockets, and it's not good for the long-term growth of the business, right?
Yes. But I was like, I feel like because I don't want to go too crazy because also, the holiday season is around the corner. I know it's going to be a little different this year, but it's still Black Friday and Cyber Monday. I always want to like save up some of those coins, for that specific reason.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Like, do you kind of see like your brand? Like, would you like it to be like in like retail, for example, say like in a Sephora? Like, I know like Sephora, they buy like other like brands and they kind of like it's under their umbrella, or even like in Macy's, for example. Is that something that you want to kind of like aim for, or you just want to be completely independent and just grow the hell out of your brand?
Honestly, I want to be independent.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people will be shocked about that, but I'd rather be independent just because a lot of those brands that go into stores, they honestly get bought out.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they regret it. Because I was like, I at least want to keep my brand and my company in my family or to myself for however long it can be. Just because
Yeah.
it's mine. I want to make sure that how I started it is how I would end it.
Mm-hmm. I
Just
feel
because
like
it's so
once,
special to me.
yeah, because I feel like if you like were to sell it, you're gonna be like, okay, now what?
Exactly.
And I bet like something along the lines of those contracts is like, okay, you cannot work on something else. You can't have like a competing product
They're
in the
very
next 2 years, you know? So that's going to be really sucky because like you love makeup, you love cosmetics, but you can't work on that for the next 2 years unless you're working with them, even though they own it if they buy it off you.
Yeah, and they're like really strict and very particular how like you should even run a brand in their store, you know? And just because it's like it's my brand, I should be able to call the shots, you know?
Yeah.
But you don't want all that to be stripped away from you.
Yeah, it's facts. Like you want to like take control. Like this can be like something you do for like the rest of your life, you know, and just grow it, create maybe other lines on your, you know, other businesses around cosmetics. So there's definitely a lot of ways that you can take this.
Exactly.
So say you're definitely gonna go hop out, increase your YouTube, create more videos. But like, are you gonna create videos like behind the scenes of like your business, or is it kind of like is it gonna be on you, or
it's gonna be both. It's like gonna be behind the scenes, how I take product pictures, how I basically ship out orders. I want them to see every single thing, like day in, day out, all the late nights of work I put in, like everything.
Mm-hmm. So like, do you have like time to kind of like chill out, you know, spend time with the husband, you know, like do you kind of like, I feel like any couple, doesn't, you don't have to be a married couple, like even like you have like a boyfriend or girlfriend, like, and you're really deep into your business and like, especially like how your business grew so fast, it can kind of be like an overnight thing where like you're not spending time with your partner, and that might suck, but it's kind of have like having two babies, like you love your man, you love your girl, but your business is like another baby, you know, it's crazy. So like, how do you kind of like, I guess, allocate your time between the both of them?
Honestly, I had to start taking weekends off just to dedicate that time, you know? So, and then I'll stop doing orders at a certain time during the weekdays. And so I was able to change like my shipping policy because I used to, during that third month, I would literally ship out orders every single day because it was so overwhelming. Like I had to. And so I was just like, until that fourth month, I was like, okay, I was able to slow down. I was realizing like, I need to take a little bit of time, like tell myself to breathe, to realize I need to spend it with my husband as well. So it was just, I had to say, oh, weekends are off. There's no more shipping on the weekends. It's during the weekdays, Monday through Friday. That's it.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Like for the first couple months, I think it makes sense to like really put that hustle mode on, working every day. But things start to scale and like maybe things start to get too overwhelming. You kind of have to like, it's okay to like still work hard, but like, you know, so have some time for yourself.
Exactly.
Especially if you have like a partner. If you're single, then maybe just go for it. Like just do whatever you want, you know?
Exactly. But no, it was at first I was overwhelmed because I was like, I don't want any customers to be mad or because you know it's very different. They were like, oh, but I had to realize I want customers to treat me like how they treat Morphe or Sephora or even Fashion Nova, you know? Like they have to treat small businesses the same. Because I was like, you know, dedicating, you know, 2 days to myself, it is okay. I have to realize that because I'm the hardest on myself. So I'll be like, dang, I really got to do this, but it's okay. I can take a breather, you know?
So as like a business owner, you never really feel like satisfied, right?
No, because I feel like I'm the hardest on myself. So I feel like I can always improve something. So I would say, yeah, I'm very hard on myself. I'm very hard.
Like, where did you think that like that hustle like came from? Like you working so hard, being like totally independent on yourself, working on like your businesses.
I would say my mom, because she works very, very hard. Because she was a single mom and she raised me, my brother, and my sister. So she really worked really, really hard. So I honestly got it from her. Because she would work multiple jobs. She worked in a hospital. She worked as an RN. She would like travel as a phlebotomist, you know. And I would see her like work day in and day out, or even with no sleep, or even little to no sleep. So I honestly got it from her.
Yeah. And so like when you started like your business, was it like most of it like, okay, this is something that I would love, or like did you kind of have that idea like I don't want to work for someone, I want to like just work for me and work on something that I genuinely love?
Honestly, it was both because I do love working for myself and I love being able to make the money I want to make because it's not nothing wrong with having like a 9 to 5 or a job like that. And I don't want people to think, oh, you know, everybody can be an entrepreneur. Like some people can't, you know. because you have to have that mentality of, oh, it's days I'm going to get sales and it's days that it's going to be really slow. But that doesn't mean break down and cry. Like being an entrepreneur, you really have to have tough skin. You have to be able to go through hurdles. You have to be able to deal with missing shipment, delays on everything. You got to be able to be like, oh, my neon pigment stack broke, but I got to send the customer out another one. I have to be the photographer, the customer service. I have to be the packer. I have to be everything. And that's a lot of weight on my shoulders, but
Yeah.
I'm able to do it and still have a positive mindset.
Yeah. And typically, like in bigger businesses, they have each person doing one of those jobs that you're just saying. You're doing like 10 like jobs at once, you know?
Exactly.
And
And
that's
I
the cool thing. Like
like to do it.
once you hire people, you kind of know what to do. And if not doing it correctly, like you kind of have an idea like, oh, like they're messing up on this or that. You know, you have the idea because you've had your hands in everything, basically.
Exactly.
That's like really essential.
Yeah, and that's what like a lot of people wouldn't be able to deal with it. That's what I said. Working for myself is an amazing thing and an amazing like that I've been blessed to do that. You know, because not everybody can be. So I just want to keep going and keep scaling because one day I want to own like my own big. I want to be a bigger company, almost maybe. I wouldn't say franchise, but just a bigger company as a whole.
Yeah. It's good to have those goals. You're only like 6 months in. You have the ambition of going to six figures, getting your own warehouse, hiring 2 to 3 people, and I think that's a really like a really good way of looking at it. You know, really like being really ambitious. And then once you reach that step, that goal, you set even bigger goals.
Exactly. That's the goal. Like I just want to set big goals because I realized because when I first started, I didn't have like small goals. It would be like, oh, I just want to make this amount. Or I want to have this many orders. Like I had to realize I need smaller goals to achieve that big goal.
So like just talking about like your shop more specifically. So what other products do you sell besides like the glitter makeup?
Well, so now we are adding highlighters. We just announced the highlighters, and now we have an eyeliner that is a lash glue. So it's basically two in one. So lash glue that is an eyeliner. So those two, and then we have our lip glosses.
So you added all that in the matter of like the past 2 months?
Yes, those launch next week.
Oh, really? And then you're gonna have like an announcement on that?
Yes.
Nice. I think that's definitely the right way to do it. And so, like, do you kind of have like a goal, like, oh, I want to make like 2 new products every month, for example, or is it kind of like once you have an idea, you kind of want to go for it and see how it is?
Honestly, that was the goal. Like have ever like because that's when I first started. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a new glitter every 2 months. Cause like just like you said. But then I was like, oh, this is not gonna work. I was just like, nah, I don't feel comfortable doing that. So now, but I realized I should have a new product I see at least every 3 months at that, you know. It's not every so often, but I want to be able to make sure it's enough products where I am attending to everybody, you know?
Yeah. And if you have like a lot more products, like if you have like say 20 different types of products, it's gonna be very like overwhelming too. But if you only have like 5 or 6, then you kind of have like that mode of like making those same 5, 6 products. If you have
Exactly.
too much in your hands and like you're only one person once again, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so I feel like you have like you're that sort of person that has like a lot of ideas.
I know. And that's one thing I can never sleep because I'd be like, dang, I should do this. I should do this. That's why I always keep like a notebook by me. And I always buy a million pens because I always lose them and I need them. And so I always keep a pen and like all my purses and everything like that. Because I'd be like, dang, I need to. Because I even stopped writing in my phone. You know how like you have like the note?
Yeah.
I stopped writing in it because I was like, let me just write it down. Because at least if I write it down, I'm going to see it.
I feel like yeah, pen and paper just hits differently.
It does.
It's so like
It does.
yeah, it's so basic, but it just works. Like just the fact of like writing it down. Like when I went to school and like I worked on presentations,
Mm-hmm.
like I wasn't able to like read it and be like, okay, I'm good. I had to literally write every word, like word for word, on the
Mm-hmm.
PowerPoint, and that way I'll kind of like memorize and know what to say, you know,
Same.
writing it. And I think it's like a lot of entrepreneurs, like it's a good idea to have like pen and paper, write down like things to do that day, that week, have like a schedule. It's
Yep.
really good. I mean, if you want to use the notes in your phone, that's good as good as well. But definitely like writing things down, kind of like saying what you have to do, being organized. Like, do you have like tools that you use to kind of like say, for example, like Google Calendar? Like, do you kind of have like a set of tools that you use to help you run your business?
Honestly, I would say I wouldn't say I use Microsoft a lot, Microsoft Word, because I'm trying to get into, I found this new app from TikTok, but I forgot what it's called. I don't want to, Procreate, if I'm not wrong. That's, yes, that one I use. And then also, what is this one? Final Cut Pro.
Final Cut Pro.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those
That's
are for like my videos and stuff like that, for getting like my logo on it. Yes.
Yeah, I think like everyone nowadays should really start learning how to like make content, use Adobe Premiere or Final Cut Pro to make videos, you know. It's almost essential nowadays.
It is. But then, Final Cut Pro, Apple gave a free 3-month trial.
Oh
So
yeah.
I was able to get that. And I was like, oh, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, okay, so you said you learned a lot by taking action, doing the things, right? But did you kind of like use other resources to learn about like business? Like did you read like books, like use YouTube and Google, like listen to
Mhm.
podcasts? Like what other resources did you use to like run or help manage your business?
Honestly, I read a lot of books, and then I was following a lot of entrepreneurs, and they came out with like little workbooks and workshops and stuff like that. Like India Irie, she's an influencer on Instagram, and she came up with her own little workbook. And then I had follow like B Simone's journey, like how she became a millionaire. Like that was very influential. And it was just like little stuff like that. I always bought little books, and also from marketing from Monray. She taught me how to do like a text message link to send out to all my customers and stuff like that. And also email marketing. I didn't realize how effective that was, so I learned that. So from those people, I learned a lot from them.
So you use a lot of email marketing?
Yes.
I feel like a lot of people are split down the line. They like, oh, dude, it's way too old. It doesn't work. It's all about social media. But like people like you're saying that it still works. Like on your experience, like do you kind of like just promote your products or kind of have like a newsletter on your brand?
Like I would say a newsletter, and I'll promote products, but I wouldn't do back to back because I don't like emails like that. So I don't want to do that to anybody else. Because if they start looking, I realized that Google, well, I wouldn't say Google, but Gmail and Apple changed the features. If you start looking at emails and like scattering them away, they'll start automatically going to your junk mail. So
Mm,
I was just like, oh, let me not do that. Let me do it like probably every 2 weeks or every 1 week,
nice.
just to space them out a little bit. And I realized between email marketing and text message marketing, like those two really do work. Like they're still effective. Like they still work. Cause I use MailChimp, and it shows me how many people opened it and how many people it was sent to. And they open my emails immediately.
Yeah. And do you get any
Immediately.
conversions? Any conversions from those emails?
Yes.
But not as high compared to like I'm assuming like your Facebook and Instagram ads, right?
No.
Yeah, but I mean as long as it still works though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like so like with Mailchimp, I think that's free, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a built-in platform with Shopify, right? You can kind of like it's a
Yeah.
plugin basically, right? But
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, even though it's like really small, it's still running numbers. It's still making you grow your revenue. You know, you have like different nets.
And then I like how easy it is to make a newsletter or to make like a little email marketing, because when I was like searching for that and like learned about it, I was like, dang, like other platforms are actually harder to do, because they'll be like, oh, here's just a blank page and I'll create what you need. I'll be like, I don't know.
That's good. It's good that you kind of like, yeah, you have like many nets to like really like reach out to like your potential customers and make some conversions, make some sales off that, you know? So you're definitely utilizing social media. You say you're going to go on YouTube. You say you're going to like, I think you say you're going to try to hop on TikTok, kind of like use it. And of course you
Yeah.
have your email marketing. I think those are like very, very essential, you know, even like for like any business, like as long as you have more ways of like getting someone's attention,
Hmm.
it's only going to help out, right?
And that's the key to get your customers' attention and to keep reeling them in,
Yeah.
because that's the thing. Like, I forgot like how White Claw, I think those are called, like the little drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how they got all there, because of one, like how they were marketing their products and how cool like the bottle looked.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like talking about like White Claw, I feel like that drink kind of like popped up out of nowhere. And that came like the official like drink. I feel like people were just like cool with like having like a beer Now everyone's drinking White Claw, even like all the guys. It's like, what? Okay, this is new. It's pretty cool though, like how things that can really change that fast.
Exactly. I never seen a commercial for White Claw or anything like that. It was just like word of mouth, and you just started seeing all these pictures and all these influencers start using it, just like because they're reeling everybody in. They're literally catching everybody's eye. They're catching attention. You know, it's something, a white bottle with a colorful, like I think like flowers and logo. But yeah.
So as you like as an entrepreneur working like for the past 6 months, even as a freelancer, like as you see like these little things like on different brands, you kind of like catch that and be like, oh, like this thing, like you kind of like have like your entrepreneur mind on 24/7, right? You have no ideas popping up. You see what other brands are doing that you can probably implement on yours. You kind of also have that like that tendency to like think about business all the time, right?
Yeah, and that's the one thing. That's why I was like, I need a break, because half the time I'll be like, I think of business, or somebody will ask me a business question, and sometimes like I never want to be rude, but sometimes I'd be like, dang, like some days I really don't want to talk about business, you know?
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I
Because
think.
it can be like, especially if it's like my day off, because I have to hear about business throughout the whole week. Like these little 2 days, let it be about me.
Yeah. And I can only imagine like how bad like or how like annoying customer service can potentially be, right? Or having problems with UPS. Who knows? Like
That
you
was
don't have,
hard. Oh my goodness, because it was to the point that they had to, like, now USPS has shut off customer service their calls and stuff like that. So there's no more customer service, but it's to the point where they had to finally say it was them and not us. Like,
yeah,
because at first they'd be like, oh, they didn't ship out the package, and be like, yeah, I did. I've had the video.
yeah,
You know, because I always make little videos of me dropping off packages and stuff like that. But now it's to the point, like, I'm happy that they did it, but USPS finally put on their site, like, oh, packages are delayed just because of short staffing and because of COVID and stuff like that. Like, and then honestly, I feel like they got behind just because of the staffing, and honestly because of drop shipping. A lot of businesses do use drop shipping, and a lot of them are
yeah,
bad.
yeah. So Anika, I think we learned a lot about like your entrepreneurial journey, your brand, your business, what your products are about. So like where can like people find you? Like what social media platforms, like what's your email, for example, like what handles, like where can people find you to know more about you and your business?
You guys can follow me on Instagram at themakeupplug.co. And for my TikTok, it's the same thing, the makeup plug, but with two E's in the. And
Cool.
yeah.
And
And
then
you can follow my website, sorry, www.themakeupplug.com.
awesome. And then from there, they can also follow your like your newsletter, hop on that, and you're gonna be making
Yeah.
more videos on YouTube, like on entrepreneurship and about behind the scenes of your business, right?
Yes, and my YouTube is the makeup plug.
Awesome. Hi, Anika. I really appreciate your time. I think we learned a lot, and I really appreciate, yeah, just learning about how you run your business, your entrepreneurial journey. And I think a lot of people can really use this as inspiration to create their own businesses, their own side hustles.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me
It's a lot of fun. All right.
so much.
All right, Anika. Have a good one, okay?
You too. Bye.